John Newman from Sports Card Nation. If you watch the show or listen to the show, you know I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, as is my family and my dad. And my dad was a huge Brooklyn Dodger kid. He used to go to a lot of the games, and obviously they were gone before I was born. But being from Brooklyn, I was a Brooklyn Dodger fan, and definitely look back at the history. So I know quite about the team, and Jackie Robinson's my idol, if you will. And so in the early '80s, a teenage me started along with writing to these retired Brooklyn Dodgers, telling them how big that I'm from Brooklyn. My dad was a huge fan, and would send them, a self-addressed stamped envelope with some cards, and index cards, and asked for autographs. And sometimes we sent cards and said, you can keep, this and send this back. And so we kind of gave them stuff. And this is the book we put together. This thing, I don't take it out that much. I thought it would be cool to video this. This is a lot of the stuff we got back in the mail from those players, and many of the players or former players you're going to see in this binder, unfortunately, are no longer with us. So we'll kind of go through it. I'll go through it as quick as possible. Preacher Row, there's an Andy Pafko, that #1 card in 1952 Topps, in case you're wondering. Ralph Branca, he gave up the shot hit around the world to Bobby Thompson. Rube Walker. Clyde King. There's Carl Erskine, one of the few that he still is alive. Mickey Owen. Don Zimmer. Many Yankee fans know Don Zimmer, but a lot of people don't realize he played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Cookie Labaghetto. Leo the Lip DeRocha, famous, became more famous for his managing than his player. Dr. Johnny Rutherford, and there's an example. Many of them, their careers weren't super long, and so they went into other professions. Johnny Rutherford became a physician. Ed Robert. Let's see. Don Thompson, Ron DeGray, Ed Milliken, Johnny Schmitz, Cal Abrams, Billy Herman. And you see, many of them wrote inscriptions to my friend John George Pfister, Clyde Suckyforth, Dick Williams, Lefty Lee Grissom, Russ Meyer, Pete Koskarot. And you're going to see coming up here, there we know who that, Vic Lombardi, but we all know who that gentleman is, Tommy Lasorda. He's still around today. Luis Olmo, Al Gianfrido, Jim Hughes, Ed Wade, Bobby Morgan, Herman Franks, Mace Brown. There's the Duke of Flatbush, Duke Snyder. Roger Craig, many know him as the pitching coach for the Giants and the manager. This one's pretty cool. Chuck Connors, who was in The Rifleman, the actor. A little inscription there. All the best to you and your dad, Chuck Connors. And he made one big C to cover both his first and last name. He's a Hollywood legend. Bill Antonelli. And some of them sent things back. There's a stamp from Roy Campanella, but some of them sent their own pictures back signed like that. Some of them, yep, these are cards that they sent me in return. There's a Don Zimmer, right? Some of them sent their business card. You know, like I said, they went into jobs after baseball. Some of them, I'm not going to read it, but some of them actually sent letters. And many of the letters that we got back from these players, thanked us for remembering them. Some of them were honestly surprised that we remembered them. And they were honored, so they sent the letter back. And then we sent these. These were a postcard set that they made in the 80s that we had, and we had duplicates. So a lot of times we would tell the player, keep one for yourself, if you like, and if you could, send the rest back signed. And so that's how we got these postcards autographed. And then the first day envelopes, with the stamp from the post office. Same thing with these. We usually had some extras, so we told the player to keep them. So you can see it's 1988 was most of this, and I was 16 years old. And now 47. I still have this book, and honestly, I don't open it that much. So there you go, a little look back at history. It's sort of sad, most of these guys aren't here, but just brings back memories as a 16-year-old kid getting all of these and writing to these players and them, writing back, and some of them even sending, like I said, business cards, pictures, or writing a letter back. So there you go, our Brooklyn Dodger book.